What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. I hope you're all well. So this afternoon, Newcastle United have been linked with Geordie manager Steve Bruce, who is the current manager of Sheffield Wednesday. He took over the job back in April, just before the back end of the Championship season. Of course, he couldn't quite get Sheffield Wednesday into the playoffs, but he's now currently in Portugal with the Sheffield Wednesday squad preparing for the new season. Now, of course, it's not the first time that we've been linked with Steve Bruce. Of course, like I've said before, he's a Geordie, he's from Newcastle, he sort of understands the area. Of course, he's never managed Newcastle before. He has been linked with Newcastle in the past, 2015 I believe, before Steve McLaren got the job, which was a massive mistake in itself. And then he was also linked before the likes of Shearer got the job as well. But in that time, of course, Steve Bruce has knocked Newcastle back on numerous occasions, taken other jobs. And sometimes you can't blame him, given the hierarchy that we've got, Mike Ashley, getting rid of the likes of Benitez. You can understand why he doesn't want to manage Newcastle in the state that it's in. Now, of course, Steve Bruce has managed rival Sunderland, which was in the past. But would I take Steve Bruce at this moment in time? Yes, I would. And the reason why I would take him is because if it's under Mike Ashley, it's a cheap option. He knows the Premier League. He hasn't managed since 2015 when he was managing Hull City. But because he knows the fans, he knows what it takes to try and work with a squad that doesn't have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't have a lot of quality now that Perez is gone. Rondon's not coming back. But Steve Bruce for me would be able to work with what he's got. He's that sort of manager. He's been at the likes of Hull. He's been at Aston Villa. You could say the same now with Sheffield Wednesday. He's not going to have a lot of money to spend. Of course, they've probably got a bit more ambition next season to get into the playoffs or potentially automatics, for getting promoted to the Premier League. But I think for me, Steve Bruce would work for us if it's Mike Ashley. Of course, if somehow we get a takeover, then no, he wouldn't be the option for me. But because he's from the area, that's what does it for us. And I just think for now, we need someone who's going to come in and work with the players, whether that be, before we go to Asia over the weekend or whether that be in the next couple of weeks. But we need a manager as soon as possible because at the minute, the club is an absolute mess and we can't get out of it. And there's only weeks to go before the new season, 4 weeks, I believe, and nothing's changed. Of course, this takeover talk's getting a little bit tiring now. They're saying it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. It's like a light switch. It's just getting boring. And like I said before, I'll give it till Friday. But I have to say, Steve Bruce for me would be the safe option. Of course, we have been linked with Kiko Flores as well, who had a connection with Watford. He done quite well before getting sacked. Again, would I take him? Yeah, he's got a bit of swag about him, but he wouldn't really be my cup of tea. Gary Monk's still in there, of course, with a shout. It's all a mess at the minute. We should have had this sorted out back in May, when Benitez said, when he had that meeting with Mike Ashley in London, that he wasn't going to stay at Newcastle. Newcastle should have released a statement there and then and said that he didn't want to stay, and we should have been drawing up options for new managers. And by this week, we should have had a new manager in, having a look around the ground, having a look around the training facilities, and then working with a squad, and then jetting off to Asia. That's how it should have went. But of course, Newcastle being Newcastle, don't do anything simple. So what do you think about Steve Bruce being linked with Newcastle? I think it's a good option. I know a lot of fans are going to be divided with this because, of course, he had that connection with Sunderland, but I guess it's in the past. You can't change the past. You can only say for the players that we've had from Sunderland. So, yes, I'd welcome him. Would it make us go back next season? Obviously not, because, again, there's no ambition from Mike Ashley, and that won't change. But let us know down below in the comments. If you are new, don't forget to go along and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also follow me on social media on Twitter and Instagram. That would be massively appreciated. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and put your comments in down below. Okay, see you later. How are the lads?